Good afternoon, good night, wherever you are at. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. Just want to make sure everything's working because I had to reset up everything. I'm actually sitting in the BitLab back here in Atlanta. Welcome to the show. My name is Kellam. If this is your first time, I hope it's not your only time. Hit that like button, subscribe, and join our community here. It's positive encouragement, empowerment. It's learning about what's going on in the markets, not just me doing TA for you. Do we break down TA? Absolutely. We go into it deep, but we also break down some on-chain. We break down concepts. We throw that rope back so we can bridge that gap from beginner to pro. So what are we going over today? And bear with me if we have any issues with any of the audio visual. Put a 1 in chat if audio visual, everything's looking good, feeling good. Put a 2 in chat if I don't look absolutely tired, because I did not have my coffee this morning. So what are we going over today? Well, is this a bear trap? Is this a correction? What is going on in the market? What the heck is a bear trap? How can we prepare to make sure that we're not taking advantage, our emotions aren't taking advantage of us being, because that's what the market makers and the big money try to do, is they move markets just past the point of that emotional breaking point in retail, so that you can donate to their boat collection, their car collection, their rim collection, their house collection. So we're not going to do that. We're going to donate to our own capital. So shout out to everybody here. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. If you're watching anywhere else or you're watching a clip somewhere, make sure you come over to youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. We're pushing right over 6,260 subscribers. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here. We got 59 people in the house, 60 people. It's ticking up quite quickly now. We only got 23 likes. What are you doing? Hit that like button. We're going to go over a lot of stuff today. I'm just going to go show you a real brief thing. We're going to be going over some stuff on open interest. We're going to be looking at this altcoin market cap, basically on this sort of logarithmic growth channel. We've got some really good information about adoption. We've got great setup for AVAX. We're going to talk about the CME FedWatch tool. Are we going to get a 25 basis point hike, or is it going to be a pause? We're going to look at some different on-chain metrics that are signaling some interesting data in the charts, as well as looking at potential setup for Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at the rainbow chart. We are going to be looking at a bunch of stuff, some news stories that are in here. We're not going to be looking at scooters, although I do have a scooter much like this in New York. This is my main mode of transportation, believe it or not. But we got some good signs. Bobby Lee saying crypto spring could be incoming. For those that don't know, Bobby Lee has made some absolutely terrific calls historically in the market. So we're going to be looking at that, as well as what's going on with the Dixie pushing back up, NASDAQ pushing up, Dow Jones pushing up. What is Bitcoin and crypto going to do? We're seeing, let's go ahead and bring this up full screen. We see Bitcoin coming up to this level that we've talked about. And if we zoom out on this, come out to the 8-hour chart. I just want to make sure everything is working good here. Okay. Let's go ahead and mute this. Let's go ahead and just look at this level where we're at right here. We can see with these crosshairs on my chart. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can see my actual mouse where the cross is, but we can see the lines going all the way across the chart. For those of you that don't have your chart set up, you can come here, come down to settings, and you can come right over here to appearance and come to crosshair, and you can change the color. You can change if you want a dotted line or dash line, and that you can also change the colors of the background of your chart. But this way you can see, just by putting my mouse here, this comes all the way across right at this key level. This is this zone that I had mapped out, which if we zoom out, we remember this is key support in this channel here. And this was a Luna collapse, consolidation, and then continue breakdown. So we had that stair step pattern to the downside. Now, coming over to where we're at right now, we pushed up into this. Look how strong this move has been from the beginning of the year. We have pushed up 87%. We've basically nearly doubled from, we basically have doubled from the 15.5 low up to about nearly $31,000. So we're right at that level, and this is a strong push. We've got to expect and we've got to plan for some some rocky roads along the way. We can't just expect a perfectly paved path all the way to profits. However, the further you get away from trading emotionally, the closer you get to having that smooth path to profit. So what are we going to do about this? What's going on now? We're going to jump back over here. I want to shout out everybody that was here early. One of the things I am doing is those that are here early, I'm not going to ask for all the different altcoin suggestions and stuff mid-show. No, I'm going to ask those of you that are here early, that are actively a part of this community. So when you show up early, right as the stream is starting, and we can even do it right now, up until about 10:05, 10:06. Throw in the coins you're interested in. And those of you that are here early, I'm going to make sure I focus on the coins that you want. So the last 20 minutes of the show, we're going to break down a bunch of TA on a bunch of different altcoins. After we break down some of what's going on the bad boy Bitty, as MDX would call it. And sweet little surprise, I got Mr. MDX coming on the show tomorrow morning. So I got to throw it over to him, say that bad boy Bitty. Bitcoin is facing a little bit. Is it a collapse? Is this going to come all the way back down, or is this going to continue higher? We don't know. But what we can do is we can stack the probabilities in our favor. We can use the data that's available to us. Momentum, velocity, volume, buying and selling pressure, open interest, on-chain data. We can use this basket of data so that we can make the most informed decision. So coming back over to chat, I do want to shout out some people in here. We had Learning, best name in chat, because he, she, they, he, Zimze, whatever they are here to learn. And that's what we should all be. Every day we look at a chart, we should be there to learn. We should be learning from every moment. We should be learning from every mistake. So shout out to Learning. Shout out WeBomb. We got, I don't know if it's Liver Blake. I don't know how to pronounce that. Jackson Crawford. We got Alexandra G. I got some special stuff coming into you very soon. I'm going to be sending you a message after the stream. Alex Green. We got Alexandra G and Alex Green. They could be related. Who knows? Brad Guidell, always in the house. Big love to you, my friend. Who else we got in here? Crimson Caravan Company. I love seeing this person's name. See him through all the different spots in the different communities. Crichton C, how you doing? Crypto Kid. Who else we got in here? Got a lot of people in here already. This is great. Vlad Discalu, Mellow Crypto, Super Snoopy 996. We got a lot of people, so we're gonna keep this going. Blazing 2Js, Unforgettable Name, Jeanette. Man. All right, so we got what's going on in the markets. All right, Mike Lowry, Kelly, what's up with the AVAX pump today? I'm going to be talking about that a little bit because we might have some good news coming into AVAX. And, of course, they've got a wonderful partnership with Avalanche. So what does that mean? There's also what do you call it? Conference. They got a conference or announcement coming up early May. We're going to discuss that. Now, so let's go ahead and come over here to the story from Bobby Lee. Now, Bobby Lee, first off, if you don't know something, I'm going to jump onto the charts here. Let's use the tools that we have available to us. If you're not here or watching these streams, or if you're just doing something else, or you're trying to figure something out, let's not forget how powerful search engines are. So who is Bobby Lee? Why does his thoughts on crypto spring? This is the wrong Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee, this is a comedian. Bobby Lee crypto. So Bobby Lee is the founder and CEO of Ballet. He also used to be, I think, a big part of Litecoin, if I'm not mistaken. But he's made some excellent calls in the past regarding what was going on, what was going on in the markets, to where I'm talking like he would call it on the tee when other people were not calling it. And this is not, I'm not going to do anything based off what some personality in the space says or does, but what I'm going to do is use this as another ingredient. You know, we can look down here, we can see he's discussing a lot of what's going on. And in this case, he says, we're finally seeing the signs of potential spring, getting out of the winter. It's been a long time. Crypto has these 4-year cycles. We talk about this all the time on the stream of the bull market and bear market. And for a good part of the last year, we've seen the bear market take Bitcoin down as low as 16,000, really about 15,005. And now we've almost recovered. We've almost recovered. It's almost doubled. Recently peaked at about $31,000. Now, you know, with cryptocurrency, you have the concept of self-custody. You actually can be your own bank, and think about everything going on in the banking world right now. This is critical. This is one of those things that is, you know, it's a different narrative. It's a very well aware narrative of people within the crypto community, but outside of crypto has been like this completely like astronomically confusing and mind-boggling thing to people outside of the crypto ecosystem. And as we're, you know, Bitcoin was born out of the banking crisis of 2008 and the housing collapse, and Bitcoin has now established itself, you know, with this last 13, 14 years of really just proving itself in how transparent and how basically perfectly engineered it is, with essentially no downtime. I mean, how much Bitcoin has been transacted? How much Bitcoin has been how much US value of Bitcoin transacted since launch? It's in the trillions. This is in 2000 and 2022. I had a chart up, but it disappeared. I had a window up, but it disappeared. It kind of doesn't matter. It's been in the trillions of dollars transacted successfully in Bitcoin. And we could see over the course of this last 13, 14 years that adoption has grown astronomically. You know, it started with the sort of cypherpunks and then, you know, very, very techie people. And then as those people really stuck with it and made a lot of money, some people sold, some people lost money. But large in part, what we've seen is these incredible boom and bust cycles throughout the life of Bitcoin. And as hard as it is to hear, the fact that we can look at Bitcoin and we can see, I'm going to turn off all of the indicators here, and just looking at the price action of Bitcoin, we look at this, we see these boom and bust cycles, boom, boom, bust, boom, bust. But even within this was a boom and bust, this small push right here. But having this volatility, while the traditional markets and politicians that are threatened by Bitcoin, central bankers that are threatened by Bitcoin, would basically tout this negative component of crypto due to its volatility. Whereas I would argue that this volatility, these massive upsides all the way up here, that's, you know, 9,600% push. I mean, even from here, just this is a mid-cycle push. That was a 340% push from the bottom there. We can go from the bottom of the candle, that's 1,400%, but we can also go from just the bottom of the actual candle, not the wick. That's still 800%. So although this is very attractive to people, I just want to caution before we get into talking about a bunch more of the other stuff. Although this is very attractive to people, people love to want to participate in this. And if they're on the wrong side of this price action, meaning you don't have the courage to look at the data that is available to you and all these different charts on my stream, on BitBoy stream, on Frankie Candles, on Crypto Banter, on Investor Bros. There's, you know, Caleb Franza. There's so many people out there that provide information, and it's up to you to have the courage to take that information and then take it to a chart and go, okay, I see this price action. I see this pushed up. This fell back. Now, okay, maybe you did buy here. We've all bought the top. We've all sold the bottom, okay? The trick is, if you buy here and then sell here, that is okay in theory if you have the courage again to buy here. But you don't buy here, sell here, let it go all the way down, be glad that you got out, and then buy once the price is above this level again. So what my point is here is when we're looking at this incredible volatility that we've seen historically in Bitcoin, and it's diminishing, I still think that we will get one super large pump that actually, one bull market that really blows away this market because of the institutional adoption. Once we get some clarity, once we get, if there's any nations that actually move into, this whole BRICS thing going on with Brazil, Russia, India, China, and there's, Iran, if they really are moving away from the US dollar, is there a potential that they move into Bitcoin? That could very well, completely disrupt the whole narrative of the U.S. liquidity having such a dramatic impact on what's happening in Bitcoin. Because if Bitcoin is adopted as a currency for trade and transaction, because it is decentralized, can you imagine what that would do to all this? So even that's a hope. Even if that doesn't happen, at some point there's going to be regulatory clarity, and institutions are going to flood into this space. And with that, as they flood in and the market really starts pushing, then we get free news media. Each one of these boom and bust cycles, this is a silver lining I was talking about that's a little hard to hear. As much as it sucks that people lose money on this, the only reason people lose money on this is because they're trading emotionally. We want to get rid of buying here and selling here, and we want to flip that. We want to buy somewhere in here and sell somewhere here. We want to buy somewhere in here and sell somewhere here. Okay, we want to for most people out there. And again, this is not financial advice. This is talking about strategy. Most people don't have 5 to 8 hours a day to sit and look at charts. Most people have other things they're doing, and they have a hope to be able, maybe this is exciting to you at first and you just want to trade. And some people do, like even for myself, I do large position trades for majority of market cycle, and that's with the majority of my portfolio. And then I have a percentage of that as well that I allocate this just long-term hold. But then there is still about under 15%, anywhere from 7 to 12% usually, that I'll come in here on the 4-hour chart or the 2-hour chart, and I will trade some volatility. But it's a small portion of my portfolio, and it's only for the purpose of accumulating more Bitcoin and sometimes making some money for a trip or whatever it is. But the majority of my portfolio, I do large position trades in terms of, I mean large by percentage-wise, percentage of my portfolio to take advantage of this movement. So if I buy somewhere, for instance, let's say I bought right here when we broke, let me move my mouse. Let me say I bought right here when we broke past this high. If this pushes up and comes back down here, I don't sell this. This is an add to the position setup. Because if I'm aware of the 4-year cycle and I'm looking at where we're at, and we have these long bearish trends that have a bottom out accumulation zone. Let me go ahead and turn on my favorites here, move this down. So we have this long bear market, then we have this accumulation zone right here. And then once we break out of this, any dip, until there's certain metrics that I look at, but any dip, if I buy anywhere along this way, if this dips down, like this is a buy. If this pushes up, if this pulls back like it does right here, this is a buy. Why is this? Well, I'm going to take it back to the basics for you. And before I do that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. We got 208 people in here, only 70 likes. Let's get those up. It's the easiest way you can help and let YouTube know you like this crypto content. It helps keep our channel alive. So I want to, okay. So I'm going to come here, come to my page. Make sure you're following me here at Kelly Kellam. Put out a lot of content here. I haven't been putting out as much lately because I've been so focused on launching the new BitLab Academy page, which is this page here. Let me reload this. We could see we got a lot of stuff coming in here. We got indicators, trading fundamentals, trading strategies, candle patterns. We have so many new courses coming. I've just been focused on this, which is why I haven't been putting out as much content in the newsletter or on my Twitter. Is because we're getting all this launched very soon. It's while I'm here in Atlanta. So go and join if you have not yet. BitLab Academy here at bitlabacademy.com. If you haven't joined, join now because the prices will be going up for BitLab Academy. And if you join before that happens, you get to keep the lower price that you joined at. So get involved and also sign up for the newsletter that is the pop-up that is on this page. Man, the internet is so slow today. Okay, so sign up right here. You're going to be getting some special stuff and notifications about the launch, as well as some alpha charts and setups and stuff like that. Now, when we're talking about this 4-year cycle, this is what I'm talking about. This is a previous halving. This is a halving that is impending, that's coming up in March, April, May of next year. Probably, I'd say probably more constructively around April of next year. Now, I'm going to take my face off the chart so you can see this whole chart here. And what I want you to notice is take in some of these points. Take a moment, and this is a previous price action where we collapsed from about 6,000 down to 3,200, 3,000-ish accumulation, push up to 14,000, right? This is the March 2020 global economic shutdown. This is the first all-time high, and then the second all-time high this last cycle, and then the bear market. Now, I want you to notice these green areas right here. And I want you to notice this right here, pre-halving pump. Now, this, of course, is pure speculation, right? This is my general map of what could happen. Will it happen? We don't know. But this is my general map, and I'm basing this based on the 4-year cycle, as well as the golden pocket fibs of these large moves. Okay, even here with this push up, this area minus this global economic shutdown, which was an absolute black swan. Look at where this price action pulled back to. These two lines right here is the golden pocket. Then when we pushed up from down here all the way to up here, look at this golden pocket. Look at where this touched. Now, similarly, we can also see that right here when this broke down, this bounced at this golden pocket, and then we had another golden pocket from here, this move down to here, and look at where we got rejected from, only to continue higher. And then we had our all-time high, broke down. But what my main point is here is the smart money accumulation, the disbelief, and then the sort of the suckers rally, you know, basically, and also hype buyers. There's one of these. I should have put one of these right here at the top too, because the reason the price got up to these levels, the only reason the price could get up to these levels is because somebody is selling through here. Retail, the reason this price can travel up is because there's people that bought here or bought here or bought at any of these levels, and they only to see it tank. They're not true believers. They don't really believe in this asset. There's small instances where people are just taking some profit because they did buy all the way down here. But the large majority of this movement right here is because there's smart money buying from scared hands, weak hands. And this is why we get the disbelief rally. And now I did this chart back in January, and we can see this is where we were then. And where are we now? We're right here. And what do I have this marked as? The perma-bear short to zero zone. What do I mean by that? This is and I'm not calling out anybody because everybody has their own form of analysis. And everybody does what they need to do based on the data that they're looking at and based on their objectives and all, you know. So I'm not calling out anybody, but people like Crypto Savvy, you know, looking at areas, you know, 8,000, 7,000, even as low as 3,000. Il Capo Crypto is looking at you know, areas down 12,000, 7,000. And so this is when we get in these price levels up in this zone, those, you know, those sort of bear-minded people are taking advantage of this very, very clear previous support. Now, very clear resistance. And what are we seeing on the chart today? Let's go ahead and zoom back in over here. Let's go ahead and zoom. So this is that zone right here, right? Right here is the same as right here. And this is exactly where prices travel to. Now, where the question is today, what are we doing with our portfolios? I want you to tell me in chat right now. Are you sitting on the sidelines? Are you swing trading this? Are you scalp trading all these little things? Are you Are you just actively trying to really take advantage of getting into position and buying dips for the coming? I mean, the continuation of this pre-halving pump. Are you looking for lower prices? Are you completely on the side? Let me know in chat. Let me know. Comment down below if you are watching this later. If you're watching over at the Hit Network 24/7 stream, come over and join us here at BitLab Academy sometime if you haven't yet. Again, that's right over here, youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. And if you haven't yet, make sure you come over here to playlist to Daily Alpha. Click on this. And it's not daily. I just haven't had the time to do it daily, but there's some really great content in here that's evergreen, especially this Pro Trading View guide. Definitely recommend watching this. I recommend watching all of these, but come check out this playlist, but definitely come and to subscribe to us here at the BitLab Academy. Now, before we go any further, I do also want to say that, let me come over here to Twitter. I want to do it on a separate window. Make sure that you come to the BitLab Academy daily post that we do right here. This is at Academy BitLab, which is the BitLab Academy Twitter page. Come and follow us here. And in the future, in order to we do a giveaway every week. In order to win that giveaway, you have to retweet these daily tweets, and you also have to like BitLab Academy. So you have to come like this and retweet the daily tweet. And we draw from this Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday live streams and also content we put out. Friday, we do the drawing. We draw randomly from each one of those days. And whatever day it picks, that's the one. You got to like. You have to come and follow BitLab Academy and retweet this tweet. But getting back in here, we want to take advantage of this move. Now, I really want to incentivize you all and encourage you to, if you're very emotional and you get trapped by your emotions, it's okay if you make a smart move here and then as this is breaking down, if you're feeling fearful, we all feel fear. I don't care how pro the trader is. You have to detach from that fear. When you do feel fear, you go back into the data and you let the data tell the narrative. It's like you're an investigative reporter. You need to not care what it does, care what the data says. Because if this is pulling back, and we know we have a halving coming up, and we look historically on halvings, we tend to have a pre-halving pump, we have a pullback, and then we have basically the launch off of the parabolic run following that halving. So if you buy somewhere here and you make, anywhere in this region and you feel like, oh man, I finally made that smart money buy, and then price action starts coming back, this is not time for you to be scared of the market. This is time for you to dive into the data, remind yourself of the 4-year cycle, and maybe, look at an opportunity to potentially strengthen your position if it comes back to those levels you bought at before. If the trade setups are there, if the data is there for this, coming down, in this case, if this pushed all the way up to here and coming back down, this would be the golden pocket. That's what these two lines are right here. This comes back down, touches that. Why are these two lines here? Why did I project it could go up into this 50K region? This is because this is a golden pocket of this move all the way down to here. Now, when this price action breaks all the way down here, this is a golden pocket from here to here. Now, you see how this simple strategy, this simple just awareness of the market will help at least give you a roadmap. And I don't want you to be these people that buy because there's positive news stories on CNBC. Don't be a hype buyer with no conviction. Okay? That's the only way price gets up here. Now, I'm thankful that people are willing to buy at those levels because that's how the price gets up there. But as somebody that is an investor and trader in the space, I want all of you to look at the data. Don't be so focused on excitement for price levels. Be excited about where it is at within a certain market structure, where it's at within a certain market cycle, and what the strategy is that goes with that. Now, to continue on with this narrative, and those of you that have been on this show from the beginning in terms of here in the audience, shout out to all of you because we've got about 100 people that have been watching from the beginning. So really appreciate all you being here. Now, you'll remember this because I talk about this. I brought this up a lot. Now, and that's this chart right here. We have to remember this. Now, I'm going to take my face off again. Now, what is this chart for? Why do we care about this when we want to know what Bitcoin is doing today? Well, pretend that you are a professional athlete. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Pretend you're a professional athlete. Professional athletes ram it through their heads over and over and over and over the fundamentals so that they don't get held hostage by their minds, by their fears, by their emotions. What is the basic strategy? If you're a golfer, what am I supposed to do with my hand placement? Where's my foot supposed to be? I'm going to swing, sometimes they'll play 18 holes as a warm up before they actually play a tournament round of golf. So what are we doing here as traders if we're expecting ourselves to be profitable, but we're not giving ourselves the due diligence to actually look at the fundamentals every day on a regular basis and say, okay, if we have formed an uptrend, which is what this is right here, see this green arrow, this is this accumulation stage right here. Now, what would this be? Looking on the chart, that would be this area right here. So if we have formed this beginning of an uptrend, what does our map tell us? Where did that chart go? Okay, so if we broke out of this and came down and retested, broke out from resistance, retested. Now let's go ahead back over here. Broke out from resistance, retested twice, broke up. Okay, so we have higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so what do we want to do? What are we trying to do right now if we know we're going into pre-halving sort of that crypto spring that Bobby Lee's talking about, the excitement in the market, despite everything going on with the global markets, we have to, the asset you're looking at, you need to be aware of what's going on in global markets, but you also need to be aware of what's going on within the market cycle of the asset you're looking at. And as we can see, when you are in an uptrend that has been established, you buy dips and you sell rips. This would be for somebody that's swing trading. You're trading this, buying this, selling this, buying this. Now, I do not recommend this for a new trader whatsoever. And again, this is not financial advice. This is strategy advice. If you are a new trader, the problem is, as it starts pushing, it's very hard to sell because you want it to go higher. So you end up selling here because you don't want to lose more of this profit you just made. And then once you sell, the price starts pushing back up. So then you buy again up here. So I don't recommend this for new traders. Now within BitLab Academy, we have all these strategies broken down, the candles, candle patterns, the psychology, trading fundamentals. But for those of you watching these streams, I want you all to really acknowledge where you are within your own journey and what knowledge you have of the crypto ecosystem, what knowledge you have of trading strategies, of technical tools. Do you know what the RSI does? Do you know what Bollinger Bands do? Do you know that the Bollinger Bands have a 20 SMA in the middle of them and then two bands that show essentially two standard deviations of essentially 95% of price action over the last 20 period? If you don't know the basics of the tools you're using, then you need to take on a basic strategy to really, so you can basically have training wheels so you can step into this market and dominate, because we want to take advantage of somewhere in here and take profits somewhere in here. And these longer position trades allow us to not, buy and then be so stressed about where I'm actually selling and then be so stressed about where I'm actually buying. This is for somebody that's a little more advanced. Now, somebody that can do that, and I do this with a portion of my portfolio, and even though I have years of experience in it, it's still emotionally draining because you have to really, you still feel the emotions even when you're able to get out of them. But we want to see when we're in an uptrend, you buy on uptrends and you short on downtrends. So the problem with it is where we're at right now in this market, this very well. These perma bears, when we looked at this, I think I already went out of it. Yeah, I already went out of it. So where we're at in this market, this zone that bears are expecting because of this previous macro support now being resistance, or people, people taking profit here, thinking this is going to break back down. It very well could, but we are in an uptrend. So the rules currently are uptrend governed rules. So what I'm doing on this is I'm looking basically at where could this fall from here. Now, shout out to everybody that's here watching right now. If you have not joined this community, hit that subscribe button, Ding the bell so you see when we got some more content coming out very soon. Hit that like button, drive this content forward. We're gonna figure out how we can dominate what's going on here and where price action is likely to go. Is this actually going to be a rejection, which it very well could? What does the data say? And if so, what are the levels we can look at? Well, let's go ahead. Let's go back it up a little bit. First off, we can see casual $350 million ramp into Bitcoin open interest this morning. So that's a lot of options and futures coming in to the market. So what does it look like the market's doing right now? Well, we'll come over. I'm going to move this over here. We'll look at this in a little bit when we get to altcoins. Well, first off, let's talk about a little bit of basic fundamentals. We've got, this is a U.S. adults, 21% of millennials own Bitcoin. Now, I want you to notice something here. Look at the difference in income levels and percentage of those people at that income level that hold crypto, that hold Bitcoin. Now, on the one hand, we can say, okay, it makes sense that people making over $100,000 own some Bitcoin. Okay. This doesn't mean they have to own an entire Bitcoin. This is 0.01, any Bitcoin. But in reality, the people that need it the most are these people that have it making under $50,000 a year. And I want everybody to remember, you don't need to wait until you have, $5,000 to throw and otherwise it's not worth it. No, a lot of people don't realize you can set up on Coinbase and many other exchanges as well to have an automatic DCA strategy that every month when you get paid or, every week or however you want to do it, to automatically put in $10, $50, $100, whatever's within your comfort zone. You don't need to try and compete with people like me or Crypto Banter or BitBoy or Frankie Candles. Those of us that have been in crypto for years and years and years. I did not start by throwing in tens of thousands of dollars. I started with, I think, $25 on a weekly recurring buy. And then I was like, okay, I got a little more comfortable and then I scaled up. So dip your toe in and do it at your own level. But the point being is here, we have a lot of adoption coming in, We have the fear of the banks. We have open interest coming into the market at these levels, meaning there's going to be some volatility inbound. Now, we're going to put this over here as well. This is for AVAX. Now, this is something that we need to pay attention to. So one of the things that is on the horizon for the markets, when we're talking about where Bitcoin could go, is the fact that the next FOMC meeting is coming up in a couple weeks. And, right now, this is oscillating over the course of a week or two, up 15, down 20%, meaning how many of these basically traders within the CMEs, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, this is what their options are betting on. Currently, 86.7% are betting on a 25 basis point hike. It's another interest rate hike. Whereas about right now, 13% think there could be a pause. Now, this may, based on the rest of the data we get the rest of this month, this could change. Based on what happens with banks, this could change. Banks are showing, they're still showing record profits, not record profits. They're still showing, they're still beating their expectations. And so maybe the pressure isn't there yet, but we've got so much stuff going on right now within Bitcoin adoption, the destabilization of the US dollar as a reserve currency, or at least the narrative of that. Okay. So let's go and look at some of the data that we want to talk about. Okay. Well, first off, long-term holder, I'm going to take off my face so you can see this. Now, just first thing you do, what do we do every time we look at a chart? Now, for those of you that you can come over here to looknode.com. These are all, I think this one's actually a paid version, but all these T1 charts, they have a lot of different charts. They have a lot of free on-chain here. But looking here, the long-term holder position change, what are we seeing right here at this very end? What does this mean? This is not like this chart right here. This is the exchange net position change. Okay. This is coins moving out of cold storage onto exchange or on exchange, coins coming off of exchange is red. Now, when we're looking at this long-term holder position change chart, and yes, we do have a full on-chain data chart, on-chain data analysis course in the new BitLab Academy. So go, I'm telling you, you got to get involved with BitLab. I'm so excited for the launch here, basically imminently. But what we're seeing here, this is the increase or decrease. Increase of holding of long-term holders. And what do we see this? Price action is dipping. What do we see? This big green wave. Long-term holders are buying this dip. Okay. Now, this is not always going to be perfect because we even see long-term holders buying right here. This was this is where people were still hoping that the price was going to still go back up. But now what we're seeing right here, this was a very established, likely Bitcoin floor price, other than the fact that we had the FTX collapse. Okay. So FTX collapse, everybody gets shaken out. We see the long-term holders also offload some of their position until they see a little bit of stability in the markets. And then with the stability in the markets, then we see, okay, long-term holders say, oh, okay, this was just, shook a lot of people out. And now we see this preceded this large pump here. Long-term holders also buying this dip here. And then look at this. Why were we fighting at these levels? Why couldn't price get above it? Well, look, long-term holders reducing their position. What does long-term holders reducing their position mean? Long-term holders reducing their position means that they are selling to short-term holders. So if short-term holders are buying right here as long-term holders are selling, then you have market weakness at these levels until we see, look at this. Some long-term holders are starting to pile back in. Now we can also see this here, short-term holder position change. We can see at the same level that we were just talking about, short-term holders, look at this, they're shaking out right here, shaking out all right here. Long-term holders were buying from them. And then we can see right here, this is where the short-term holders were buying from these long-term holders, taking some profits at these levels, hedging their positions. So long-term holders, smart money, was taking some profits here because, could have just been hedged positions, but short-term holders are making this area have weakness. So we get the sell-off. And so what we really want to see is we want to see long-term holders and short-term holders. We want to see long-term holders holding, and we want to see short-term holders basically matriculating into long-term holders, okay? Meaning that hold longer than 155 days. Now, if we come over to, let's go back up here, market valuation, cycle valuation, we can come down to the Bitcoin trend fib opportunity zone. This is an on-chain metric that I created. And we can see that we're sitting right below this purple band. This is a bull floor band, meaning once we're in a strong bull market, this tends to be the floor. And we can see this as we can see on this band that is, once we get above this band right here, look at that, just holds, goes into a parabola. But until we break through this, which right here, look, we held below it, rejected, sideways accumulation. Then we broke above it, rejected at the bull control band, which is the brown band right here where my mouse is, finds support on the short-term holder realized price and on the bull floor band, and then basically just pushes up with corrections along the way, bouncing on short-term holder realized price. So we're seeing right here, coming back over here, we have bounced off. We broke through the short-term holder realized price, this red line, this red trend signal line. This is the line I'm talking about right here. See this line? And we came back and we bounced off of this, really confirming that we are in a bull trend. We're having a little bit of a hesitation here, resistance, and that's okay. We don't need to be shaken out by resistance. We need to see opportunity with resistance. So where we're looking right here, if we come back, so the short-term holder realized price, remember the other day it was at 22,000? It is now at 23,238 as of 2 days ago. So it's probably about 23,400 or so now. But if let's go ahead, see if I can get a little more zoomed in. Not as much as it'll do. Okay. But we are setting up a bullish structure So what does this mean for where Bitcoin can go? Well, let's kind of look first at the exchange net position change, because is this preparatory or are people selling? This is the exchange net position. People taking money, we said, basically putting into cold storage is a red, going out of cold storage onto exchange is a green. So what does going onto exchange typically mean? Likely preparation for selling. Now, or at least not absolute, but in order, if somebody's moving out of private storage onto exchange, the likelihood that they're going to sell is fairly high. We can see this happens right here. All these coming off of exchange. This is when FTX collapsed. So everybody, that was when the narrative was, you need to have your private keys. That's why we see this massive red here. We also see this. This was a lot of the insolvencies last year. Three Arrows Capital, Voyager, BlockFi, Luna, all those issues, and then FTX. And so we're seeing this narrative of people holding less and less coins on exchange. And if I come back over here, come to the, actually, I think I shared it on my page. It's right here. This right here. This is the critical chart to understand. Illiquid supply. I talked about this last week, but we have over 78% of the Bitcoin supply in circulation is illiquid, meaning it's either held in wallets that tend to hold 75% or more of their assets, or it is off exchange in wallets that haven't sold. Essentially, you're showing lack of liquidity, lack of available coins to be sold, basically creating a supply shock. And it hadn't been this high since, look at this, January, February 2014. Whatever this date is, around 2014 is the point. But there's millions less in supply back here. Now we have over 19 million in supply here, and we're back at this level. This is fear in the market where the stuff is becoming more liquid. This is maturity in the market as people are understanding the value of self-custody. So this is what's very important to thinking about. Where is Bitcoin going to go? How can it get there? Well, one of these important factors is the notion of supply and demand dynamics. If you don't have supply, if you reduce supply while not changing demand at all, the ratio of demand goes up because there's less supply. So by having less supply, we're also putting more pressure on price, even though price will still swing back and forth. We're putting more pressure on price, and any bit of small increase in demand, it becomes exponential. And remember, we're very early. We're very early, and I know I've shown some of these things to you several times, but I just want you all to really, really get this. I really want you to get this, and that's this right here. That the maturity of Bitcoin holders having 78% of the supply out there in circulation be illiquid, and we're this early in adoption. So not even adding any additional users, we're already creating supply shock just because of the maturity of the market. People getting smart about holding their coins off, basically holding their coins in private custody. So when we're looking at this and we're seeing this uptrend, where can this go? Well, we talked about it here when I'm actually going to go like this. We talked about it here on this with this sort of this price action potentially up to 50. Do I think it's going to get up to 50? I don't. You know what? I was about a month ago, I would say no. And today I'll cautiously say it's very possible. A month ago, I was more heavily in the global economic sort of turmoil of how negative things looked. But Bitcoin is being very surprising right now, especially with what's happening with all the BRICS nations and, just how resilient Bitcoin's being in all this. So I do think this is a possibility. I think a more likely target is to front run this somewhere in the $44,000 range before a pullback into the halving and then potentially up. There's other people that think we're going to get a new all-time high this year, like Credible Crypto. And so you have to trade with your own strategy. But let's look at this on the chart and let's talk about where this could go. So we pull up some of the indicators here. Did I not? Okay. we can see, let's actually go to some traditional indicators first for all you traditional indicator people out there. Okay, we're coming up. Now I've changed this often, so let me just make sure. So I'm not going to use that. It's just too many lines. So we've broken out this down wedge. We've got, that's why my thing's not working. I thought I was putting dots all over my screen trying to get this thing to, oh man, this, you know how many dots I just put on my screen thinking I was trying to double click to turn on and off the indicators. There we go. Sorry, I had to sneeze. All right, so here we are. Now we can double click on this. So looking at this MACD, we can see right here, this crossed option V gives us a vertical line. We can see that this MACD bullishness was coming in all the way back here when this was pushing down. So we've already established, we're not going to go backwards. We've already established that we've started an uptrend. So the question is, from here, where are we going to go? Well, let's look at this. We got RSIs pushing up. Stochastics are looking, this is the stochastics. They're looking like they're slightly downward angled. Slightly downward. This is already concerning just on the notion of we see this is going down while price is going up quite dramatically. It's almost flat, but when we did look at it, when we zoomed into this, this was decreasing in sort of stochastic strength. The RSI is looking, this is much more pronounced uptrend than this RSI. So I wouldn't call it a full-on divergence yet, but this is on the weekly. Let's go down to the daily and see what we're looking at here. Well, we can see a couple things immediately. One of the things we can always look at first, and I'm going to make these are so bright. I'm going to make these a little, yeah, there we go. One of the things we can always look at first is what are the trend lines around us? We've already zoomed out and we see we have this massive macro support. Now we have macro resistance, but what are the trend lines around us and what's the volume doing? What's the volume doing in these zones? So we can see right below this, we have this volume node right here that this is also in line kind of, if we look at this, this is going to change because we just zoomed in, but we could see that volume node would be, it's still right here, is right where this trend line would be extended, right where this trend line would be extended out here. So this coming down here and bouncing on this would cause me no concern whatsoever. What would cause me concern in terms of if I was questioning continued downside is if we broke below $23,000 because the $23,400 because the $23,400 area, as we saw before, was the area. Why are there two of these? Was the area, the $22,400 area, $23,400 area was the area that the short-term holder realized price was. And we have seen historically that was essentially where once you start a trend, we're going to go to this area about right here, create a little box. We're going to make this purple box. Purple box. I can do it, I promise. I had a different mouse with me today. Blue box. Make it really bright. So this is about where the short-term holder realized price is the 23,000 to 23,400. We're going to zoom this down a little bit. If price comes down to this level, there's a couple things we can see here. Well, one, we would still have a higher low. So if we come down and break this level and break this would be very scary because we got this key sort of trend line right here that is almost like a ugly inverted head and shoulders or just bullish price action, reversal. If we lose this level, this could be, this for me would be a bear trap. If we lose this level, come down here and come down, wick into this, and then come back above this $25,000 very quickly, and then move back up. This is a bear trap I would actually like to see. I would like to see that because I would like to add to my position in this region. Now, this might get front ran a little bit. So it may not come down as low as $23,300 because look at this. We also have this price action right here. So if this were to come down and really bounce, the most bullish case for a bear trap here would really be that this would be kind of scary if it got all the way down to touch the short-term hold to realized price again. So we'd have to look at our metrics, but coming down and bouncing on this level here, I'm actually just going to move this. Coming down and bouncing on this level here, like this, on this $24,000 to $25,000 region, maybe a wick into this and then continue to the upside. That's if we get a full-on bear trap. Now, what I want you all to realize is everybody, we have to remind ourselves, this is not a Bitcoin crash, okay? The price has moved 2%, 3%. Now, it feels scary for somebody that's either out of position or it's not, you know, when we see something like this is a crash. You see this, I mean, this one candle, this one daily candle was 10%. I mean, we see this also right here. Okay, 15%. So this is but a mere pullback at this point, and we have to treat it as such until data says otherwise. Now we can see on the 4 hours, we see stochastics have come all the way down and reset. So this is potentially a good sign. Now, if we look at the MACD, we see the MACD has crossed and is still, it was expanding. We see it crossed right here. There is bearishness. See this MACD moving to the downside. This was red while price action was going up. So this was kind of a little bit of a signal that this likely was not going to play out. We also have this bullish push, larger bullish push, and smaller bullish push, meaning we have a lower high here and then a lower high, and then we break down. So is this going to reverse or not? Well, let's go down to a little bit smaller time frame. We can see that the MACD is starting to try and constrict, but it's not quite there yet. The stochastics have fully reset down here on the bottom on the 2 hour. RSI is quite low, so this is actually a bit bearish that it's gotten this far down. Let's look at our the BitLab trading stack and see what's going on. Well, on this one, we can see the significant movement, which is a combination of a bunch of momentum indicators, as well as stochastics and RSI and other momentum pressures. When we get a blue wave, this is likely, it's a consensus between multiple indicators showing that we have, those momentum indicators have reset, and they're showing that the price is getting to very undervalued, oversold levels. Now, the concerning thing here on the 2 hour is none of these bars are outside of the relative extrema. So this was healthy movement down. We see these bars outside. We zoom in on this, see these bars outside of this wave. This was unhealthy bullish movement with this small movement. So just based on this alone, combined with these bearish divergences on the volume, this was a signal absolutely for me. As soon as the candle broke below this previous low, that this would have been a short and come down and ride this to the downside. Now, we get the blue signal. Does this mean you close your short the second you get the blue signal? No. Why? Because we want to have a 1, 2, 3, 4 point of convergence, confluence. We want to have multiple indicators that are in agreement with setting up a probability so that we're taking trades with higher probabilities of wins. Okay. Now, we need to be patient to do that because somebody might see this, you know, for instance, this red wave here on significant movement, and it's like, oh, I got to get out because it's very overbought. Well, you get out here and then you miss the rest of this move if you're just swing trading this channel here. So you want to have this combined with a divergence, or combined with the divergence here on the hidden volume. Same thing here. We have the blue wave. Now we have 3 bullish divergences. Currently, this candle's not closed yet. So MACD, histogram, and RSI divergences. This is on the 2 hour. Let's come down to the 1 hour. Now here we go. On the 1 hour, we see I mean, look at all this bearish pressure. These red flags are bearish divergences on volume, showing lack of interest as price is moving up. So basically bearish weight on this. And then we get 3 bearish divergences right here on the BitLab market intelligence. And then we have the bearish divergence here. And the relative extrema is just kind of poking out, but we're seeing all this bearish narrative. This, you know, would have been a clear exit if you're still in a long on the smaller time frame trades. Remember, You have to understand what time frame somebody's talking about when they're talking about an entry or an exit. I'm talking about for somebody that's just trading this, this volatility from here to here, and you're trying to figure out where you got out. You missed this get out. Well, that's a very clear get out right here, because you had the relative extreme out. You had, look at this bearish divergences is leading in here on the volume, and now as we're pushing down, is this potentially coming into some support? Well, we're coming into a higher volume node. This bounce wick came down. This relative extrema was sticking way out of the cloud. We have this wave coming much higher, showing much stronger confluence of likely trend floor. But let's kind of see if there's a sort of shakiness in that narrative. Well, look here on the 24-minute time frame, we can see we're getting some bullish divergence here. But this on the 24-minute time frame, you got to be very careful because you can see even right here, we did get quite a bit of bullish divergences on volume. Now they did end up moving to small little push-ups, but as it stands right now, is this small bull div on volume going to be able to hold this? Because as this stands right now, this looks like it could be like this, right? So how do we determine if it's not? Well, we can see we're sitting right here at this volume node. Let's go back out to the 2 hour. So as it stands right now, this price action, look at this wick right here. All I did was see where I saw this wick, and I wanted to see the crosshairs go across my screen so that I could see and look at that's exactly where price action is holding. Now, there's not much price action in a 2 hour wick right up to this level. So the likelihood that this is going to hold just based on this previous price action is, I'd say, a little bit minimal. Even though we have some bearish divergences here, or bullish divergences here, I would wait for this to push down probably into this volume node here, this trend line that's directly below us right here that gives us a lot of previous price action. That's what I'd be looking for, more likely bounce from here. Could this just roll over and push up from here? It very well could, but I'm seeing some weakness at this level. So let's talk about it. Well, why is that weakness? Well, we see the Dixie, look, the dollar is pushing up it's trying to make an attempt back to the upside, and it's coming in on this multi-year support that we had already broken through and confirmed. Is this going to get us another rejection and then come down, or is this potentially going to push up? If this does push up, this could have some bearish pressure on Bitcoin. Now, coming over here to NASDAQ, it's still kind of fighting in the same region. Rising wedge potentially could still break down to the downside. Now, coming over to what I really want to look at is the totals. Here we go. You can see here Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is really given some liquidity to the altcoin market. This is that dominance rejecting right at this line that we had drawn all the way from way back here. Still respecting this level. Is dominance going to explode back up? It could, but as it's showing right now, the altcoins are kind of getting the benefit, because the Bitcoin was running outpacing the altcoins. So we come over here to altcoins, and we can see that this level right here, this broke this key sort of downtrend resistance, and we're still under this zone right here, which is about 40 points, 35 points higher. And then the next teleportation is 45% higher up to this previous resistance. So we've got a large brewing alt season coming. If this is a crypto total market cap minus Bitcoin. So there's all the alts, Ethereum and all the alts. If this breaks and is able to break this, we could see a lot of movement in the alt market. Now, so with Bitcoin, we do see, let's sort of focus this in, and then we'll get into a bunch of the altcoins. Sorry about that. We can see that we had high, higher high, lower high, which is this is not quite a head and shoulders. It is, but it is because it's just not all touching on the same similar neckline. But it's the same sort of concept with the bullish push, higher bullish push, and then the bulls lose momentum. They can't get as high, showing a shift in trend. And this broke down. It's pushing down. So what I would do on this is from this, I would say, I guess about this low here, option F. Option F. There we go. go up to the high. Now actually it would be where I did it from before. Yeah, it was this breakout point. And we can see that the price action is coming down right about where this golden pocket would be on this 2-hour chart. If we come out, I did this on another, do it from this breakout pull out. It's right on it, but I'm still seeing price action come. I'm still seeing price action likely test a little bit lower to an actual candle body close here, and then potential to the upside. Now, if this were to just break out from here, we could see, hold on, let me double click on the chart right here. Now we can come option F. Now I want you to notice something. From this point right here, I'm going to turn off that indicator. From this point to this drop right here, look at where our price went to, right to the 1.618 target. So if this price action, this looks like it was very respected, okay? If this price action does come down here anywhere in the zone, even bounce off this 1.618, which is right at this previous high also, if this does push up, then we could potentially see a target just on the fib sort of framework, up here at $34,000, near $35,000. Do I think it's going to go there straight from here? I don't. That's not what I would plan on. I would think that we'd likely, if we do bounce from here, find some resistance here in the $32,000 range. So that's kind of the two levels I'm watching. I'm watching for this to push down, either test this 1.618 and bounce, or test these levels here. If we lose these levels on a bearish case, then looking for levels down here in the short-term holder realized price level around $23,400. You can move this up a little bit. And that's also, look at this. That was, I did not even notice this. That short-term holder realized price is also perfectly in the golden pocket from this move. So if this came all the way back down here, that would still be in the golden pocket from this move. But it's crazy how these things line up sometimes. Now, everybody, I want everybody to put your arms above your head, stretch your back. Oh, yeah. Got to do some self-care a little bit, okay? All right, now let's get into these charts. Let's see what you guys are feeling. Have you hit that like button? Have you hit that subscribe button? Have you dinged that bell? Why not? Do it. Get involved with this channel. We got 171 likes, about 290 people watching. Now we're about to do a bunch of TA on a bunch of the alts that you all called out. Let's see what's going on here. I'm looking at the Discord from my mods. They sent me a list of some of the coins that you all talked about. All right, so let's go ahead and back out of this. I'm going to start with one we haven't done in a while. Rather than doing the big ones first, we'll end with some of the big ones. We're going to hit AVAX. We're going to hit Cardano. We're going to hit Ethereum. We're also going to do Arweave. What was the other ones? Arweave, Matic, Optimism, Algo, and there's a few more in here that we'll try to get to that our rate specialist sent me as well. This is from the chat. We're going to try and do ICP, HBAR, CRISPR, or CRISPR, not CRISPR, Casper. But let's go ahead and get to it. Let's dive into these charts. Now hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. We're doing these charts for you. We're breaking down all these concepts so you can figure out how and why you can set things up this way. Now let's go ahead and do Arweave. Okay, now let's do auto. I don't think I've done TA on Arweave. So what do we do first? Always, if you haven't done TA on a coin, or if you haven't set up that chart, always macro first. Why? Macro, midterm, micro. So large time frame, medium time frame, day into hours, and then, below the hour, the 2 hour, 4 hour and below being the micro. So this way we can get an understanding of the trends that we are in. And we can see. So what I'm doing is I'm finding as many touch points as possible. Just tried to push out there. Okay, now option T or Alt T if you're on PC gives you a trend line. So there we go. Option T. Okay, so Not really seeing anything here. Okay, now with this, I can see we've got a little bit of a rise. Is this a rising wedge? Let's go to small. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, well, first off, because everything's sort of follow the leader right now with Bitcoin and Ethereum, what we can do from this major breakout, option F, this is a breakdown, I mean, from this level to the low. That'll give us an upper roadmap for once we get up here. We don't need to see that because we're nowhere near that. So let's do just this breakdown here. Do option F to the bottom. So this is looking. I almost wanted to say it looked like a rising wedge, but it actually looks like an ascending triangle. Which you see this flat top right here. This is also the 382. So although this does look bearish, it could look like a bear pennant. If we ignore that, which I don't recommend, but you always have to be aware of everything because we have a double top right here or even a triple top, push down. Now, if the market goes into a bullish narrative and this breaks this level and comes up here, I would be looking for a price action test up about 1139, which is the golden pocket here. If we're able to take this, then be testing into this $13 region, which is also in line with the previous top of this range. This is on the daily chart, by the way. Now, coming down to the 4-hour chart, we could see, let's actually look at some of the indicators. Okay, it's bullish, bearish, kind of a little choppy. This is the relative extrema, see, sticking way out of the cloud. We can see this sticking way out of the cloud, and this is finding a little bit of support in this EMA ribbon that's right here, this multicolor EMA ribbon. Finding support in here, but is this flipping back gray? Yeah, this is flipped back to see how it was red. It flipped back gray, meaning it's no longer overheated. It's a bit neutral. So this is looking up for Arweave in terms of a prospect for potential higher prices. This is falling through the EMA ribbon on the 1 hour though, but we are looking undervalued, oversold. Relative extreme is sticking out. This is right at a volume node though. So let's see what this looks like. If we do lose this level, I would see price coming down to probably the $8 region because this is the low here and the high here, and it's a volume node right here. So if this breaks down, that's the target. If it's going to the upside, then I would be looking for 1072 and then up to 1140. Why 1072? Because this is a previous option J. Alt J gives you the horizontal bar. This is a previous top right there. If this breaks this level, I'd be looking at some price interaction here probably, and then into this zone right here, 1142, and then we can reassess. Now, what was a bunch of the other ones? Let's do, I have some of these already up. So Algorand, let's look at this. Auto, we already have this fairly mapped out. So this is just in accumulation chop zone right here. I could see a Wyckoff accumulation pattern forming on this potentially, even having a washout down here, but I don't think that would be, the market's just has such a bullish case right now. So let's look at this. Okay, on the daily, come on, auto. On the daily, we're bouncing off this level right here, which is a little concerning because it's we've kind of tapped this level 3 times. Hopefully it's taparoo on a ceiling and we break through that ceiling. Hopefully this isn't like a little mini, triple top here or double top. This is more of an accumulation zone to me. So let me look at this 8-hour time frame. Okay, we're seeing each time these relative extrema bars have protruded out like this. This has had a little bit of a bullish impact, especially when coupled with this bullish divergence here on the hidden volume. All these indicators that if you're not familiar with these indicators, these are in the BitLab. If you come over here to bitlabacademy.com, come over to indicators. You could use BitLab 15 in the area. If you come to the page here, give me monthly access. If you go down, if you scroll down just a little bit to billing details, if you come right here, have a coupon. If you put in BitLab 15, I think this will work. Yeah. So BitLab 15 right there. It's right above payment. You can get these indicators are phenomenal. They completely change the way I trade because it combines so much. MACD, RSI, stochastics, buying pressure, selling pressure, volume, hidden volume, on balance volume, money flow, momentum. I mean, it combines everything. We developed this along with a high frequency, multi-$100 million like hedge fund and algorithmic, basically engineer, along with Frankie Candles and I trading strategies, so we could pull out the stuff that smart money uses and also make it visually representative for people that trade like we do, so we can see all these divergences. So as it stands right now, we're getting very choppy signals. So let's go to Mama. Let's go to Mama right now, Mama Alt, which is Ethereum. Let's see what sort of signals she's given on the markets. Now, we had this rising wedge, which is typically fairly bearish. However, this was also potentially a bearish preparation setup if the Shanghai upgrade went poorly, and this would have broken down. It would have made sense. But this broke out to the upside. Now, we are getting a little bit of a double top sort of visual here with the price action. Let me kind of come out here. So we have broken this level though. So this would be very bullish if this were to either hold here, sideways accumulation, and then work its way back up, target up here, 2,368, or come down and test this level, come back down and test, this sort of trend line area right here, the 2028, 2040 area, test this area. That's what I personally would like to see, because I'd like to get in at some of the entries that I have. But we see right here on the 8-hour, look how far out this relative extrema is on the opposite side. Just making sure I'm not getting dings. Magnum 1160 said, Kelly, if the extrema is showing a slingshot, does it matter the color of the bar? No, no, it doesn't. If this is pushing out to the opposite side of the wave, or even if it's on the same side of the wave, you see how this is pushing out from the wave? This is showing essentially we have a momentum wave. This is an aggregate momentum wave. Okay, just like when you look at like Market Cipher, you look at other momentum indicators that have. This is essentially an aggregate momentum wave from some really well thought out, sort of engineered way to get the healthiest look at the movement in the market. And then we see these bars are when price action, there are pressures that are out of context with the health of that trend. So similar to divergences where you're seeing something, after price action has happened, the relative extrema is giving you indication of health within a trend. So as this price action is moving up, this is showing that this is unhealthy price action moving up. It likely will cool off, and we can see this happening as it comes into this trend level of resistance. And what happens? It rolls back over, and and these bars come back into the wave until now. There's more healthy buying pressure as this is pushing up because we see these bars are within the wave. Okay, so that's how we can read this. And when this is pushing out on the opposite side of the wave, it's definitely stronger because this means that the bearish pressure to the downside is very unfounded, or it's not well supported by the buying and velocity and the volume that are in context with that movement, therefore providing whether it be some market manipulation or whether it be just price action is getting pushed to a certain direction and the volume and interest isn't quite there. So where we're at right now, we did have the relative extrema. This is on the 8-hour. This is Ethereum. We see the relative extrema did peak out right there, and then we did start to get a pullback. Let's come down to the 4-hour. Look at this, peaked out. We have bearish divergence on the volume over here leading into this, and the price action is kind of falling a little bit. This was very overheated. This did get neutral, and we're getting some choppiness. We're getting choppy signals right here. The market's a little undetermined about what it wants to do right now, so you have to prepare for both directions. If you don't have a clear direction, if you're not smaller time frame swing trading or scalp trading, which I don't recommend for anybody beginning, then I really recommend for anybody that is, just taking shots out here in the dark. that you identify a target for a pullback. For example, you know, you can always extend a trend line. Okay. And we also have this trend line. See this one right here? Let's go ahead and make this larger. Now, what is this trend line from? Let's see. We got all the way back here. Boom. This is all the way back from December 2022. Support, resistance, 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 resistance. So, and this is also, look at this. This line's coming in perfect context. I have all these little dots on the screen. It's perfect context, perfect confluence with this 2020 level that I was talking about. So if this were to get a little wick down to this region, this would be very bullish if this does slingshot off of this. So I have a couple targets set in this sort of region, basically right here. Make this green. Just for that region, just for that reason, because we have this trend line right here, which is a previous high in a range. We have this extended trend line, which is all the way from December, and then we have this most recent formation trend line. This is, you see this, so you can ladder in entries in here. If you only get one, because it only comes down to here, fine. But you could also get, if it also dips down to here, you can also get it this way. You're breaking up your entries, and also puts you in a position to ladder in and ladder out. So it's a very smart thing to do to break up your entries. You're essentially DCAing your entries into a position and DCAing out of your position based on laddering those positions. Now, because this is looking a little bit weak, this is potentially, okay, we can see a trend line right here as well. Nope. There we go. Now, I got to keep my colors the same, man. The colors of the trend lines, I should say. In this political climate, you got to be very clear. So we're holding support here. If we lose this, then I'm looking at coming down here. If we lose this, then, you know, we very well could be having a shakeout. Let's get through a bunch more of these coins that you all wanted to do. Algorand, let's do Cardano really quick. Okay, now Cardano came up. Look at this. This was, let's go ahead and minimize this. Now we had, let's go to auto, double click. Okay, now we have this trend line that was from this range that we were trading. And look at this. This came all the way out, bounced right off of this. So is it the worst thing in the world? Is this super bearish? Not necessarily at all. This is just a range that this has been trading in. Now let me zoom out on this a little bit. Let's take this. I hope this doesn't end up being like a large rising wedge. But okay, so now let's go ahead and delete this right here. We can go on this most recent move first. Option F to the top. Now this, look at this. This broke down, bounced right at the golden pocket, and then came all the way down to the 786 right in this region. Now, if we lose this level, then I could see price action potentially coming back even all the way down, you know, all the way down to these levels right here, because we've got option J. We've got this sort of zone right here where the previous highs were. And we also have a volume gap in this region right here. See, so if we lose this level, I could see price coming back down to the 41 cent level, which is about a 2 cent drop. We very well could push up from here and create a round head and shoulders. But we can see that we had sort of a head and shoulders right here as well, but that things are pushing more bullishly as more of the disbelief gets eaten away. Now, we did have also, if you notice, we did also have a bit of a sort of parabolic trend line going here. I can never draw with my mouse. And we broke through that. So we broke through this sort of parabolic trend line as this was moving up. So it stands to reason things are cooling off. People are taking some profits. People are being smart about their investments. Now, so if this does bounce from here and comes back up, I'd like to see it come back and test this 46-cent level. However, I do think that there's going to be some work to be done in this region, unless there's some just perplexingly good news that comes out. This is looking, if we look at this with the actual indicators, look at this. We had the bearish divergence right there, and this did roll over, but look at that relative extrema. You see how undefined the markets are right now? Relative extrema showing this movement is very out of context, or it's unhealthy. Now on the 2 hour, we're getting a bit of a bull div. We're getting a bit of a undervalued zone right here. So I'd like to see a bull div on the volume here on the actual hidden volume indicator, and I would like to see these bars stick out a little bit, because we are getting some bullish divergences here, but it's looking rather weak as in terms of a setup for a push to the upside, because we did get the lower high. Yeah, I'm looking at a target maybe 42.60, testing this low. If we can't hold this 786, then I'm thinking we're most likely coming down to the 41.4 level, 41.2. Now coming back out, that's what I'm seeing on Cardano. What else was there? Boom, 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 boom. Everybody, if you have not yet, what are you doing? Join our community here. Hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, and drop an elbow on that like button. It helps keep this channel with engagement, and it really helps drive things forward. And sometimes when we hit a certain level of likes, sometimes I do some special giveaways. So let's go ahead and dive back in here. We're going to do a couple more alts before we have to wrap out here. Optimism, Optimus Prime. All right, so Optimism, we could see. So we have, look at this from before. We have this rejected right at the golden pocket, but this is looking a little bit like a bull flag in this case. This is looking a little bit like a bull flag. However, if we zoom in on this, it's also looking a little wonky. Man, option T. Yeah, this is looking like it actually, this is why you zoom out, because looking at it just like this looked like a little bit of a bull flag, but zooming into this guy, it looks like, come on, it looks like we're actually probably in store for further downside. Now, where will this go? Let's look at previous levels. Let's look at our roadmap from previous levels. Well, we have this right here, option J. You see this? This is exactly where price is sitting right now. If we lose this level on Optimism, then I think that we are in store for this region right here, option J. Why this region? Look at this. Because it is rejection, support, price interaction. This is what I'm thinking. Yeah, if we lose this level, then I think there's going to be probably fairly quick move down. But what we got to do, we got to go from this move, option F, bottom to top. We're at the 382. And look at that. Look at this line. I did not plan this. This line from this previous support and resistance is also perfectly on this most recent local move. Is basically right at where the golden pocket is from this move. So if we lose this level, then I'm looking at price action to come down to $2.41, $2.41 to $2.43. Man, my back is hurting. Now, let's see. Matic. We haven't done Matic in a while. Let's do Matic. Matic USDT. Okay. This is a previous trade. Now, this is, let's go on the 4 hour. Okay, man, this is, okay, we're going to delete this fib, and we're going to focus on option T. Yep. Option T. So this is a little bit, this is changed. So this is coming, this is hugging this upper sort of resistance line. It's hugging let's see how far back this goes. So this is hugging this upper resistance line. Kind of. Now, let's go to turn this bad boy on. Yeah, this is hugging. It's looking like it's trying to set up for a move higher. We can even see this right here with this sort of symmetrical triangle with this top and this bottom. So option T, did not want to do refresh. Okay, option T. Now, boom. Yeah. Now, option F, Fibonacci from the top to this bottom. Now, look at this. We're trading, look at this. This range that we're trading in is right in the golden pocket of this entire range. If we're able to break out of this, not only will we be breaking above, finally breaking above this golden pocket, which has been resistance, we also have this line of resistance. If we break above this, you know, the targeted move from the symmetrical triangle is essentially the previous high of this range. So if we are able to break to the upside, first pit stop I would definitely say is the dollar. It needs to get through the $1.18 to $1.19 range, and then we could be looking at $1.25. This is for Matic. If we do lose this level, then we have a level right below us, $1.11, which would be a strong buy from me. We are seeing a little bit of the relative extrema sticking out to the downside. So this is supporting maybe a little bit of a bullish narrative. Look at this, bullish divergences on the volume. Yeah, so I'd be looking at this positive side for Matic. Now, AVAX, because we talked about AVAX. AVAX, this is what I want to talk about with AVAX really quick. We do see right here, AVAX is coming for an important resistance, but there is an avalanche summit May 3rd to 5th. So I believe it might pump a little bit more. There is a summit. Is there going to be any big announcements? Is there not? We also look at this giant inverse head and shoulders. Okay. Now, if we break out of this and come back over to the chart here, and we look at where is, so avalanche right here is looking quite bullish on this setup. Now we're coming into a key resistance zone, this sort of targeted zone right here. And so we want to, if we're able to break above this zone, then, you know, we could have some stops along the way, but we could, you know, very quickly be making our way up to $30. Let's come out to the daily. Come out to the daily. There we go. Auto. If we break above this region, we could be seeing up to $30, and then we have another projected trend line from this point and this point all the way up here to $40, and then past that would just be this region right here, right here. Yes, there we go. And that's, I mean, that's all the way up $70. So I'm looking very bullishly at AVAX right now. So those of you that got in, I was able to reacquire some right in this region down here. I got some more in this region here. Now I'm just letting it play out. And that's what we got to do. We got to identify the assets we're interested in and why. And then look at the roadmap by looking left on the chart, mapping things out, using a variety of different tools, and then being here in communities like this. So hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. Let us know that you like what's going on here. And I gotta run for now. I got a bunch of other stuff I got to do for the BitLab. So make sure you come over and check out all the socials that are down here and the BitLabAcademy.com. Sign up if you have not yet. Get involved with BitLab Academy. Right now, it's still, the actual courses are still only $29.99. You can also use BitLab 15 for 15% off that as well. And remember, those prices are going to be going up soon when we get all of the new stuff rolling out on the new website. And I'm so excited about it. We have so much stuff coming to the BitLab. So get involved, get in our Discord, and a big love and appreciation to all you. With that, I got to go. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and being my friend. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here again and again. Hit that like button, sucker. BitLabAcademy.com